We had one series that we singled out the second camera guy and just his name's Coxie and we basically created a character in the show called Coxie.
Coxie!
Massive coke sniffing.
Fake tan.
Yeah. Where's Coxie? Getting a few brasses in.
Even like, cut, stop mentioning
So how long after the pilot came out did the BBC, how long did they take to decide whether you're going to get a series or not?
Ages.
Yeah, it was 1 year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time to get the first series, and then the first series was only 4 episodes. And then the really scary moment and the really surprising moment came after those 4 episodes to get to what we sort of called the second series, but it was only 5 episodes. And the show sort of nearly stopped or died at that point, and that was the moment that sort of John and I went into battle, really, with the BBC.
Was this the transition when BBC Three was going online?
Yeah, it was just all bad timing. I mean, the truth is that nobody loved the show as much as... Nobody thought we were as good as we did, basically.
We had a small group of really passionate fans.
Yeah, of which we were.
And it was 4 episodes. It was 4 episodes. But the last week, they played the 2 episodes at once. So we had a 3-week run time, so no one really knew about it.
And again, just like when we had made the pilot, when we had finished it, I said to John, it's not perfect, but I'm pretty sure they'll send round a moped with the money to make the second series. And that didn't come either. And we went to see the BBC and they're like, well, we're not sure. And it's a bit like, and I used to say to them, it must be an underserved audience. It must be skewing young. It must be skewing kind of multicultural, or if you're brown and funny these days, you've just got a job, and that's how I'm managing without granted. But it was a really big battle, and it really very nearly came unstuck.
So shall we see the sort of beginning of series 1? This is.
K to the U to the R, U to the P to the T, corrupt family. This one wicked and this one bad. This one going to your mum, to your dad. I mean, it's like you can spell things out. You use your mouth predominantly.
What are the hand things?
Just corrupt FMKs, like.
Let's throw your K's up.
Corrupt FM in it, the rest are irrelevant, like.
That's a slogan.
Don't need to say it's the slogan, just let them hear us saying it all the time, then they'll get it.
We used to say corrupt FM like it, or just lamp it, basically.
Yeah, but then I came up with one that rhymes, you know what I mean? Rolls off the tongue better.
Aerodynamic.
I said it's time for action. Boom, 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 selection. From the crowd.
What is Corrupt FM? Simple. It's an urban powerhouse / radio station / family unit. Do you know what I mean? The biggest and baddest pirate radio station in the land, aka Corrupt, like best believe. 108.9 on your dial, yeah? Phone line is popping off right now. Big up to 384. Isleworth Mercy.
We transmit throughout the whole of West London. Obviously, once you get to Shepherd's Bush, it gets a bit white noisy, but we still got a lot of fans down Bush, White City. I reckon there's quite a lot of people that drive closer to the transmitter in the car and maybe set up a recording.
Bring a picnic. So show them round, innit? Like.
Yeah, show them round the manor.
Obviously, you got the blocks there and that.
And you see here, we've got the garage, so you need Rizla any time of day, bosh.
My philosophy in life, is just like, sort of, just do whatever, basically. Brings up a lot of problems, money issues and that, but it's better that way, innit? Yeah. Over there we got the world famous Crack D's.
Cracker Demas and Pliers.
Beautiful little burgers, actually, they do there, don't they?
Whoa. What else? And then just up here, you've got the station.
Yeah, no, don't show them the... No, it's not the station, you're not meant to know where it all is and all that, so...
Maybe we shouldn't have taken them on a tour, Brentford.
Yeah, well, just
it's kind of bait.
It's, we're not actually... Just because we're going around Brentford doesn't mean we're actually... The station's in Brentford, it's a little radio trick we call throwing them off the scent. So.
Yeah, we could be anywhere right now. It could actually be in Brentley.
Exactly.
So is this all illegal then?
Of course it's illegal, mate. It's part of the beauty of it. If you keep a secret location, you don't have to do any moving around. It's just like the dirty Babylon, the filth, do you know what I mean? And the DTI that have to do with the running about, like, do you know what I mean? And never find us. Stop filming!
They don't know that we're down there dropping the finest in UK garage and drum and bass, like.
Fucking amateurs.
Come on, mate, keep it down though. Hurry up, Deco, I need a piss.
So this is very much the sort of incarnation of PJDN as we know it, because the series begins, and this is where Jack, you got involved, and Gareth Heel, who's edited all. Has he edited all the series?
Yeah. He has, yeah.
So when you watched the pilot and came to start making the series, how did you try and find a sort of fresh take on that mockumentary that has had at that time been quite popular?
Yeah, well, at first, like, it was trying to work out how to balance both managing the comedy, but also bringing the rawness of the YouTube videos and stuff like that, where it sort of really felt real, but you wanted to be able to control the comedy and already laughing at it. But yeah, like control the comedy, and I think a lot of it was about finding a master shot. So we were trying to get a lot of movement and make sure that we always shot routes into the scene, so we'd have coverage that we'd be able to.
So like how the camera follows people up the stairs before they get into a room. And
exactly, and find a camera that would allow us that freedom to move around, and coverage that would allow us that we could keep simple enough that we'd be able to let them impro and let them add layers and sort of do what they do really well. And while getting all the scripted stuff and being able to, Yeah, because
from a production point of view, that must be hard, because the balance between improv, like letting people just do what they want to do, and also sticking to rigid times and finishing on time and letting your crew go and all that.
It's a big danger.
It's really nerve-wracking. At the beginning, it was really nerve-wracking working with Jack, because he would push it all the time we've hardly ever overrun, but he's always,
to the wire.
Yeah, and when we do the talking heads, which I'm sure you'll get to, but, Jack has a sort of plan, and you kind of just have to trust a lot of the time that he's got the times in his head, but...
Because that must be weird for you guys, obviously you've done the pilot, but now Jack's involved with his vision for it all, and obviously like you open up the cast a lot more. You had people involved in it who weren't part of the original,
We branched out and worked with people that weren't our friends for once.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you cast all those extra characters?
We actually cast Jack as well. We were involved in all the castings and kind of had these characters that we'd written, but even when you sort of do these castings, you see people and you kind of realise they're not exactly the character that you imagine. Like Roche, for example, was kind of...
She's meant to be like
she's like an Aggie
rude
girl mum, like gelled hair and spikes at the back, sort of sort of vibe. But then when we met Ruth, her improv was incredible. She was so funny, and like she just had this dry sort of humour that was sort of different to what we'd imagined, but it was so good that we were just like, yeah, this is going to work.
And putting them up against like someone like Hugo, who's amazing at improv, and like working them back and forth, and they just gelled straight away, innit?
It was street casting we started first, and the only person we got from that was George, who plays Craig.
I love Craig.
He's actually Craig in real life, pretty much.
His casting session, we got him to just pick something off the floor, and he was just like bent over picking something off the floor of his arse crack.
So he wasn't
this is the guy.
He wasn't an actor before you...
He's
not an actor now.
No, he is. He was like... he's now properly got a profile or whatever actors have.
No, funnily enough, he was actually an actor and we weren't. And
he came from street casting.
But he always wanted to act. He'd done like a few little things, but he's just that in real life.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And one of the things we did was a lot of chemistry reads. So we'd sort of get these guys in the room with sort of our top favourites, and then just sort of set them free basically and see what happened. And how they bounced off each other. And some people would just be,
overwhelmed.
Really overwhelmed, and like wouldn't be able to answer what they were throwing at them, because they could be quite random. But but then never. And then Yeah, and then others just really were sort of acting in a box, so they sort of could give you the lines really well, but then wouldn't be able to respond at all to what was going on. Yeah, so it would be like, yeah, but then Roche would just answer it brilliantly.
It's a really delicate ecosystem with these guys, because I think if you're going into something that was working before, we've all seen lots of examples in our industry where like TV production companies, broadcasters get involved with something and wreck it. Actually take something good and fuck it up. And we were very clear that, you know, John and I knew that whoever joined them, the atmosphere had to, on a basic level, it had to stay fun and it had to stay within the confines of television, fluid.
Yeah. There's got to be a good vibe on set.
There has to be part of the group.
There has to be part of the group. And so whoever we cast, we had to make sure, because the atmosphere, if there's one arsehole on the set, that dominates. Actually, you know, the atmosphere will go down to that level. So from appointing Jack to the other actors around him, to the person doing sound, to the DOP, we had to make sure that it became a collective, a bigger one than they had originally, but it was very clear that if it began to feel too professional, it would fall apart.
We had,
why it's not.
I did a TV show this summer, and we had, I think, most of the crew who'd just finished on and everyone was like, it was a party, it was so much fun. So is it, when you're on set, how much are you trying to make it really laid back, and do you consciously sort of try and give that atmosphere?
Definitely. I think, well, partly we do that with the coverage, so it's keeping it so that we can do the same thing quite a lot of times. So it means we'll do
12 times
or more. Minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah. So we'll do a lot of takes, and that the coverage, by keeping the coverage simple, it means we don't have to come round the angle and relight and rework everything. So it means that we can sort of have fun and be quite free within the scene. So we know what we have to get, and there's always that kind of what we intend to get and what we have to get, and then there's all the sort of the list of extras that I have in my head, and the clock that's constantly sort of ticking, and so it's there's.
We'll always try to slightly change our line to make the other person laugh as well, so it's kind of like that. I think that brings the vibe.
Well, we have a running thing that we'll say in every scene throughout a whole series.
Yeah.
That'll piss Jack off.
I think we had one series that we singled out the second camera guy, and just his name's Coxie, and we basically created a character in the show called Coxie.
Coxie!
Massive coke sniffing.
Fake tan.
Yeah. Where's Coxie? Getting a few brasses in.
Even like, cut, stop mentioning
I'm gonna make who's called it Coxie. Yeah.
It's that kind of balance of like being like, you know, like I've been on sets before where like people get pissed off when you're corpsing, and like they're like looking at the clock and being like, come on, we got work to do, and it's like obviously we got work to do, but if the vibe on set is like strict and you feel like you can't even joke around with anyone, you can tell in the end product.
Especially
and with
comedy, innit?
Yeah, exactly. With our show, you can see like the product says, because we're just fucking about, but we know we've got a job to do, and Jack does a great job of that balance, because we're all quite, you know, intense, loud twats. So like to manage us all and get like, you know, get the result out of us is good. And I've never felt like I can't, like it's strict. I've always felt like we've been free to like mess around. But
definitely instances though where it's like right to the wire, it ends up in the cut, and we can't hold it anymore because everyone bursts out laughing right after that point.
Yeah. That's the thing you got to do, is just hold it
in.
You know, there's like 2 seconds that you just have to not laugh for,
and then you just burst out.
and then you can laugh, and it's fine. And then it's in the
like a good fart.
And Jack has one of Jack's thing is laughing constantly out of nervousness, or I don't know why. But that's quite good, because it makes everyone feel quite comfortable.
Jack's energy. I've never ever.
His first note is always.
Or ask you to do something and go.
I think that's the thing, is that like Jack's never tried to sort of sometimes like.
Never tried.
If you try and sort of, I don't know, be cool with these guys, they just see straight through you and will pick up on any weakness you have.
Hey, Jack's cool. Come on.
Me and Jack are kind of quite.
He's an anomaly.
I thought you were going to say I was naturally cool.
Yeah. No, sorry, mate.
No, we know he's not.
No, like we have worked with some people who try and be cool, and they're kind of like, all right, listen up, big cats, big dogs, and we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, when people are just themselves, like Jack's just himself, John's just himself, and we respect that more.
I've really got to go to the toilet. So.
And he just asked me for permission.
Or cocaine.
Fill your boots.